For years, philosophers have asked the question, would you let this man inside your brain? Well, ready or not, here he comes.
The first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and is recovering well. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection.
For years, Elon Musk has promised to connect our brains wirelessly to our devices. And now, with this surgically implanted coin-sized device, he says we're there.
There have been brain-computer interfaces for quite a long time, but the difference with this Neuralink is a precision surgical robot that can splice these 1,000 really, really fine electrodes to precise neurons in the person's brain. That's far better than any human surgeon could possibly manage.
There's been no independent verification of Musk's successful trial claim, and he has a long history of making promises that don't quite match reality. But if what he says is true, this could be a seismic moment for communication.
The device is designed to interpret your neural activity so you can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking about moving.
And the tech isn't just about scrolling TikTok faster.
Neuralink can help people with quadriplegia, it can help people with other neurodegenerative type diseases like ALS. It could also help people with certain mental health issues like depression, PTSD.
Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That is the goal.
What do I care for this beautiful rustic black hole, guaranteed to appreciate in mass? Let's start the bidding at $1 million masses. Do I care too?
But there are some major concerns.
People's data is very personal and it would need to be absolutely fail-safe that it could never be hacked.
So is Elon Musk about to take us into an age of mind-controlled tech? And is that somewhere we really want to go?
Well, Dr. Kiara Bruggeman is a nano engineer and self-described mad scientist. Kiara, ironically, I actually can't get my head around this. So how does the chip work?
Okay, so if you recall those EEG hats, you may have seen them in old sci-fi movies with people who have a whole bunch of wires all on a cap on their head.
Like a colander,
reading their brain waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically that, but smaller. So the same way that, cell phones used to be a big brick and are now much smaller and sleeker and prettier. This is the smaller, sleeker, prettier version of that. But it's got one key difference, which is that it's actually inside the brain.
What?
So the ability to read some signals from your ongoing brain activity, that's not new. We've been able to do that for a while. But the problem is that when you're doing that from a hat and kind of reading through your skull, all your tissue, everything, you're not getting a really nuanced picture. You're getting a picture from afar. So it's a little bit like if you try to understand what life is like in another country versus if you actually go to that other country and live there and start to experience the difference between little small towns here and there around the country.
Yeah.
Because this Neuralink is actually inside your brain, it's got a whole bunch of those little sensors, but they're made much, much, much smaller so that they can be poked into your brain tissue all around your brain. And then it gives you more immediate, more direct, more local information about what's going on every little spot in your brain.
But Dr. Kiara, Kiara, why? Why?
Well, I mean, just, because it isn't just enough of a reason to just shove a bunch of electrodes in your brain. It's because if you've been paralyzed or if you have certain diseases that take away your ability to control your limbs, you can still think about controlling your limbs. You can still think about moving, walking, picking things up, but you can't actually do it. But if we can register those signals from your brain, we can translate that into external devices that are capable to basically replace whatever functionality you've lost.
Now, if I get a chip implanted in my head, could I be hacked? And can I use that as an excuse in court?
Okay, you can try. I don't think the risk of hacking will be very big for two reasons. So you're either going to be controlling an external device, which is what this Neuralink does, where you're controlling a cursor on a computer, in which case, yes, your computer can be hacked nowadays anyway, so that's not really adding anything new. Or if it's controlling something like a neuroprosthetic, it'll be physically attached to you, and you can put in extra securities that require the control to be that physically close to you. So that will probably stop people. I'd say if you were going to worry about anything, it would be that the big companies would put in subscription models and control your access to your motility. I don't actually think that will happen. I'd say that's more of a concern than hacking.
Big text. Big text normally filled with pretty good blokes doing the right thing all the time. So I can't see any issues arising.
I mean, I'm optimistic.
Yeah. This thing has a lithium battery. That scares me. There are warnings along the way about hemorrhages and seizures. The company behind it were investigated for unsafe practices during the animal trials. Is this thing safe?
So regarding lithium batteries, I'd say pacemakers also have lithium batteries. Everything can be done in a way that's unsafe and a way that's safe. I'd say don't necessarily trust Elon Musk, but how far this technology progresses will depend on the FDA, the TGA, other regulatory agencies, and they are very sensible, and I do trust them.
Do we know anything about the person who was trialling this?
Yeah.
We don't. We have Elon Musk saying that positive brain, neural activity has been observed, but that can mean anything from, actually at this stage, it probably just means, it's not inducing a severe immune response. But I do think that it will work as intended. It's just that as intended is not quite as magical as we might imagine. It is all just motor movements that you're already familiar with. It will be able to mimic.
Right.
Well, Dr. Kiara, I don't know whether to be terrified, excited. I'm very unsettled though, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
See, the thing that scares me there is Elon Musk, because if you don't know, Elon Musk has had 11 children to 3 different women. And if I wanted someone like that controlling my brain, I'd just start listening to my cousin Jaden.